The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
He's not unmuting himself.
Oh my gosh, Tansey, unmute yourself for crying out loud.
Seriously? Is it not
How come?
muted?
I can't unmute you if you mute yourself, so.
Oh, well, that was another lame guns up, giddy up moment that just passed.
No.
What is he talking about?
You're fine. We can.
Oh, never
hear
mind.
you.
I'm good.
It's all on your end.
Oh my gosh. You cannot be left unsupervised.
Jimmy's not here.
Guns up, giddy up. All right, yeah, Jimmy's not here, so we can talk shit about Jimmy. But first of all, let's recognize, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, we now live in a country where Kyle Rittenhouse is a free man and Biden's quarantine and vaccine mandates have been squashed by an appeals court. Hope for freedom, everyone.
Yay, freedom.
Why aren't you excited?
I am super excited.
Clearly. We missed our guns up, giddy up moment.
I know. I'm still flustered. I was already nervous that we didn't have Jimmy here to help produce the show tonight. But,
Who do we have helping to produce on your end?
we have Kadeen. Kadeen, what are you to me? I don't even know. Like you help me out at the distillery, but you don't really work there.
No.
Wait, what?
Are you?
Your token black friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
my token
Everyone's one of
black
those.
friend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You're ticking a lot of boxes, man. We're ticking the diversity boxes tonight. We've got a chick. Speaking of chick cops, we're going to talk all about women in policing, chick cops. We've already pissed enough people off by calling them chicks in the first place. But not only are we talking about women in policing, but we have expanded. We used to be just 4 white dudes on this show, and now tonight we're 3 white dudes and 1 black chick.
Yeah.
So, and like, what ethnicity?
That sounds like a porn.
What's the background?
3 white dudes and a black chick.
Do we tick any ethnicity backgrounds?
I mean, I'm Jamaican.
No, see, this keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I deliver.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. She's wonderful though. She helps us out at the distillery. She was a customer for a long time from the beginning, and then one night we were slammed, and I was like, "Yo, I will pay for all your drinks if you get behind here and work that register for me." And
Wouldn't you want her to drink less if she's working a register?
No, I was like, she'd already had a couple of drinks. I didn't care.
Oh,
But she got up there and
keep
she
on
was-
drinking and get the money messed up.
She was brilliant. She was so funny. She was like behind the register, and people were like looking at our swag at the swag area. And she was like, "Hey, if you've looked at it for more than 20 seconds, you're buying it. Like, I've already rung it up, so you might as well just pull it off the shelf." People are like, "What?" She's like, "And I don't know how to like unring it up because I don't even work here. So I've already charged you for a shirt. Leave it behind. I don't give a shit. But I've already charged you for it, so you might as well take one." People are like, and I was like, "I love it. Let's go."
Let's go. Oh, speaking also of women, and before we forget, because it's going to be like us to forget, there is a shirt that we are dropping on the Failure to Stop website that is freaking epic. Well, by the time when you listen to just the audio of the show, it'll be tomorrow. By the time you hear this, it'll be Wednesday, November 24th, I think is the date. And you have got to see this holiday party shirt. So
It's up.
where
It's live.
is it live?
Just
Is it
gotta-
really?
It's live, baby, and we got to
Check this thing out. If you're just hearing it, you'll have to just trust me. I don't know what we called it on the website, but it says "'Tis the season to be lying." Comma la 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 la. And it has got a picture. We're probably going to get a cease and desist on this. I'm guessing we're not going to be able to market this. Actually, now that I think about it, because it actually says Kamala on it, it might create a problem for us.
Let's just go until who cares?
But yeah, it's got her cackling face.
Dude,
This is the best shirt on our site. I don't even the ones that say "Guns Up, Giddy Up" or our flagship things.
I will wear it to every Christmas party.
I'm wearing it to every social gathering in the next 6 weeks.
I want to do so many TikTok videos wearing that shirt.
Should I answer my phone? It's my friend Nate. He was my longtime partner. Should I answer it and just put him live?
Is it Nate the Great?
No.
Wow. Yeah, who cares?
Okay.
Well,
Hey, Nate, you're on live on the night shift edition of the Failure to Stop podcast. How are you, buddy?
Hey, hi, Mike.
Hey, what do you want to say to the world?
I want to say that I just got done drinking like 6 bourbons, and I thought to call you for a couple of different things, and now I'm caught off guard, and I sound drunk.
oh, that is kinky.
Well, we do have a call-in show, and that happens quite often.
Hey, God dang you. Why aren't you just a normal friend? Like, why aren't you just normal?
Why are you the way that you are?
So, hey, Maggie Kata,
Yeah, she's calling in tonight.
yeah, she's trying to figure out how to do it.
She's an idiot. I've already explained to her that telephones work the same way that they have since their invention. There's numbers, and you put them in, and then it'll happen. When we do call-ins, I see her in the chat right now. Large Marge, you'll be calling in soon. We'll put the number up in a little bit. It's about 25 more minutes into the show or something. I don't know.
Hey, can we talk about the handshake again?
The handshake story.
You don't remember?
You need to come in the studio. We need to redo that story.
We do. All right. I didn't know this was all going down. I sound like a moron. I got really kind of drunk, and I don't want to be on the phone anymore. So,
All right.
all right.
Okay, bye.
All right. See ya.
Oh, that was funny.
You never know what's going to happen on night shift, guys. That's why it's
That's why they call it night shift.
that's why they call it night shift, baby.
Boom, first drunk of the night, and bonus, he's a friend. Triple bonus, he's also driving home.
Yeah, he's known to exaggerate a little bit. All right, so let's see. I am
What are you
drinking.
drinking tonight?
Speaking of drinking, I picked up a lighthearted ale on sale. Look, this is a Michigan beer right here, baby, and it's lighthearted. It's a good beer. Bell's beer, man.
Yeah, it is
Everything
great.
that they put out.
Always is good. Their porter
Quality.
is really good.
So that's what I got. What do you have, my friend?
So I got a friend here that's up the road. He owns a distillery. Him and I have collaborated on some stuff. They own a distillery. It's called Old Nick Williams, but this is his new bourbon it's a straight rye whiskey, actually, 45%, and it's called Zeb's. And they're they're up towards Winston-Salem in North Carolina, but Zeb is
Where they used to hang all the witches?
Distillery. Nope, that would be Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
This is Winston-Salem. I don't know why they named it Winston-Salem. It's like a hyphenated name. So maybe
Is that where the
there's like a
cigarettes come from?
maybe there was like a weird marriage.
Is there a cigarette factory there?
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Winston-Salem's? Isn't that
Oh.
a cigarette?
Oh shit, Winston and Salem's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Huh. And we are the tobacco capital of the United States. So,
Freaking racist.
I'm not sure how that's racist, but I
'Cause
just thought
you're
it was like one of these weird
making
chicks
people
that.
pick tobacco. Oh, it was cotton, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't.
my
Did
bad.
Adrian, real quick? We'll ask our token black friend. Did slaves pick tobacco? Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Slaves did tobacco.
I'm Jamaican, Eric. I don't know.
All she knows is weed
They pick stuff
because she's Jamaican.
All right.
Mon.
They
Get
pick
with it.
stuff
and reggae.
and reggae.
Reggaeton.
Well, your hair
Feeling
looks-
hot.
Your hair looks good.
Thank you.
Hey, we have mail time real quick. I know everybody's like, let's get to it. Let's talk about women. All right, hold on. This came from Brandon Hartley of 1096 Tactical. He says, hey, guys. Just wanted to say I love the podcast. I have listened to every episode since day one. I recently left law enforcement for 10 years to run my business full time. It's been the most exciting yet terrifying thing I've ever done. Hey, we can relate, man. We both stepped away from our cop careers to do our businesses as well. I listen to podcasts when I'm out working in my shop, and yours definitely makes the day go by faster. I'm hoping to make it to one of your events soon. I'd love to come check out Tansey's distillery one day. Keep up the good work. Guns up, giddy up. Brandon Hartley, 1096 Tactical. I've included some of my swag. I hope you guys like it. So we've got, when you come visit me, you can have your half of the swag. But, yeah, got some decals and
Oh, cool.
all the cops love bang. So tap rack bang.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was our, I finally got something shipped physically here for the mail time. So
Well, that was a really nice gift. We did
Thanks,
have
Mr.
somebody
Hartley.
reach out to us on the social webs. And they had asked if we would give a shout out to Officer Mario Gonzalez, who unfortunately was killed last Friday night in a single car vehicle accident. And so that's really sad, but that's sad of Boone Police Department. I guess that's Boone. Was that Idaho?
I don't know.
Where's that at?
I don't know. I was just thinking the other day. I don't want to be a downer, but I mean, there's been a lot of cops that have lost their lives the last couple of weeks. Have just been overshadowed by a lot of other things going on. So, yeah, our hearts out to all the families. So
yeah, so he was it's Boone, Iowa. He just recently completed sniper school. He was also in the Iowa National Guard. One of the kindest guys whose smile lit up the room and made any situation instantly better with his positive attitude. Sad, but anyway, shout out to Boone, Iowa PD, and rest in peace, Officer Gonzalez, and good luck to the wife and the 2 small children that he left behind. Super sad.
yes, indeed. All right, let's chick cops, huh? First of all, we were talking about we had some funny conversations happening pre-live about the typical non-cop chicks chasing guys in badges. They call them badge bunnies or holster sniffers. But what do you call the stupid name what do you call a dude who's chasing chick cops in uniforms? What did you say? Badge Bucky?
Yeah, Badge Bucky.
I'm Bucky going after them gals with badges. Bucky.
I think you're giving it too manly. Like when
manly. No, I'm just thinking of like some kid on the rodeo with a belt buckle twice the size of his face, talking about going after his badge. That
is funny.
His badge babies.
That's funnier than you think because I definitely do know a female cop whose husband's definitely not a cop and he's a big belt buckle guy too. I always see guys.
How did I know?
Women cops they're not cops themselves. Like as they're probably like. I know this sounds bad, but they're probably like cuckolds, right? Like they want.
You think like this is yeah? Our most dudes that chase chick cops are they beta males at home? Are they stay-at-home dog dads? What is going on there?
What are they Amazon position?
Because
Amazon position is that's where the girl throws your legs up over your head. It's called Amazon position.
Why? Why is that called Amazon position?
I don't
get it.
I don't know, but you can.
Is it a reference to the business or the geography in Brazil?
I tried it one time, and I was like, I tried to get my wife to like, let's try this Amazon position one time, and like we got like halfway into like me trying to get my legs up that high. She's like, "This is terrible. I'm not doing this," and I was like, I can't even get hard. So,
good old Bucky could do it. Bucky could Amazon all day.
Badge Bucky. Come on,
Seth Stark. Thank you for the super chat, brothers. Love you back. Yeah, but I haven't looked at the chat. I don't know if people are actually telling us what dudes that chase chicks are. Now, if you chase firefighters, then you're a hose ho. Is that what it was?
What did you call them? You called them
hydrant humpers.
Hydrant humper. Oh, God bless. Hero watcher.
Yeah, maybe. Doggone it. So what's your experience with chick cops?
Oh man, so for me, like there was I worked with two female cops on my squad, and I worked on one of the hardest squads in the department, hands down. I don't even think it's arguable at this point, but Southeast District is the hardest place to work in Raleigh, and so to be a girl on our squad, and one, it was a voluntary. It's voluntary. It's the only position in the department that you can opt out of it. Like if you don't want to work in Southeast, you just say the words, "I don't want to work here," and they move you right out.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to get into the district, but it's really easy to get out of it.
Fascinating. I've never heard of such a thing.
They don't want. Yeah, if you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there. So to have two females there that want to be there, one, they want to be cops. And then the two I worked with, heterosexual females that, not that that matters, but
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with being heterosexual, but, they were just, they were like one of the dudes, and we treated them like they were one of the dudes. And I don't think there was a line that you could cross. I mean, shit. Red, who's going to call in here soon. I mean, dude, I'd make fun of her tits and roll call, and she'd make fun of my small dick and roll call. So
you can't get away with that stuff anymore because that's all sexual harassment. You can't crack jokes like that.
Well, I mean, we were talking today because I warned her that she was going to call in tonight, and which I was surprised that she's listened to this show, period. But she's listened to most episodes, I guess. But she was like, we were talking. I was like, man, I probably could go to jail. I guess I don't. What is the sexual harassment? Is that you don't go to jail for that though? That's not a crime.
You could.
Just get fired.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
touched
definitely
her
some employment laws,
dude. Our discussions, like in our 12-hour patrol, like because we would ride together a lot for 12 hours plus. And dude, some of our conversations were fucking. We used to laugh about that all the time, man. If body cameras would have been around back then, we'd have been fucked.
For my career, I had, and I've shared a little bit of my story on the show. At my first job, I was laid off and then ultimately changed departments. So where I spent the lion's share of my career, there were no chick cops. Now they have some, I think, at that department, but there weren't even any where where I worked. So I didn't have much of that experience for a lot of it. But the first part of my career, I did. We had our community liaison officer was female, and had a couple on my shift as well at different times. One of my lieutenants and a sergeant were also females. And I got to say, all of the ones that I worked with they would throw down, dive in, they took pride in their job, in their preparedness for the job. Front to back did, which is also the way you should go when you're a chick taking a break at the restaurant or the restroom, front to back.
Oh yeah. You never go back to front. You'll get
yeah, that's just advice for you ladies. Take it from me. Or leave it. But anyway, I had good experience, like I see a lot of videos, and I'm sure there's dudes too. I see a lot of videos of chick cops that I'm like, oh my gosh, no presence, definitely needs someone that can control a situation physically. But I was looking at some stats. Only 12%, 12.6, 12.8, depend. Some of the stats are a little bit different. Of all uniformed cops are chicks. So it's still an 88% male-dominated industry, profession, or whatever. And when you go to state troopers, we know how you feel about them after
that
last
was a
week.
Joke. Come on.
No, it
we
wasn't.
All
it was
love
real.
Troopers.
It's always a kernel of truth in there.
We love them.
And it goes down to like 6 or 7% for troopers. So definitely a different ballgame. But I never.
Anyway?
What's that?
Like a height requirement and stuff to be a trooper? Like
there used to be in Michigan State. There used to be a height requirement. Yeah, so. I think that stuff's changed now with the physical standards, but that's something we should talk about. But anyway, my experiences with chick cops has all been good. I never ran into a situation with a chick cop when I worked with one on. My direct experience never yielded oh my gosh, I've got her on shift tonight, and just by virtue of the fact that it was a chick, I would be like, oh my gosh, now we're all going to be having to deal with her stuff because she doesn't have presence, or she can't get into things physically with people or whatever.
The bears smell the menstruation.
Their menstruation attracts bears.
Damn it! Now we gotta worry about bears. No, dude, it sucks because I like talking to other dudes and stuff. Like especially my dad, who's like super old school. He's like, man, don't you worry about having a girl as a partner. Like she can't get you out of the fire or something. If you're trapped in a fire, she can't get you out. And I'm like, dude, obviously haven't seen my partner. She's in better shape than I am. She's probably stronger than I am, which, she's got jacked abs, and I was Definitely not as in shape as her.
Yeah. The other stats that are interesting when you start looking into it is chick cops also have less use of force, even though they are attacked at the same rate, but they also diffuse situations easier. So it's really interesting their skill set and approach, and maybe that's a cultural thing, right? Most people are gonna not be as quick to want to try to use force to resist against a female as they will a male, but that presence can be a calming presence, can be a controlling presence, using their femininity to their advantage. Of course, I did do a little. Had the underpaid producer make a thumbnail for this promotion in this episode with the typical Instagram female cop with hand on the hip and using her sexuality to quote unquote humanize the badge, but I think it's more sexualizing the badge than it is humanizing it. And then you've got like your stereotypical. It's kind of like when we were in high school, there was no hot chicks having sex with the high schoolers, but now every other week on the news, it's like some smoking hot chick is banging a high schooler, and it's like, well, where were these people when we were in school? I don't remember anything. My freaking geometry teacher was 400 pounds, but so. Now I lost my train of thought entirely. Where I don't even know where I was going with that.
I lost my train of thought when you said sexualizing the badge.
Anyway,
something about
the other. So the other
400-pound
side is
geometry
like these raging
Dykes.
drill sergeant. I didn't know what I can say or I can't say on YouTube.
Can we say
so
dykes? Is that offensive? Katie,
it's definitely offensive, but I don't.
I think you'll get caught. You'll get flagged.
I say go for it.
You say go for it.
I don't know that I trust her with these moral decisions.
You've had lesbian thoughts before, right? You're like borderline lesbian. You thought about it once. You thought about it?
I'm a lesbian.
Does that make you gay?
I mean, I'm almost.
So is it gay, black, female? Can I say dyke?
I hope my mom doesn't listen to this.
Everything is so
For your kids.
Everything is so fluid here. Anyway, so you look at the stats, and it's not like what people might think it is. When I was at the other department, let's just say there were some experiences where there were some female cops in the area that would regularly get into things and then always needed backup. Always had to have other people come and solve their problems. But as I've thought about that over the years, I think it puts you at a greater physical risk if you're a female who likes to get into trouble but doesn't have the skill set verbally or physically to back it up. Well, then you're just an idiot in general. It doesn't really have anything to do with your gender. Right. But there was also dude cops that were just as inept, right? Sure. So I've had, so in that sense, I've seen good experiences and bad experiences around me. But like I said, I didn't directly day in and day out work with chicks on shift for a long time. I mean, we always had to call if we needed a female search. We would call from another neighboring jurisdiction or state trooper in or something like that to do our detailed female search or whatever. But
I mean, I had fun. I think like the two females on our squad, and I think I just got a text from the second female on our squad that I think she's going to call in here in a minute too. But I mean, honestly, like me working primarily with them, which are an integral part of our squad. Our squad was only like 13 people strong, and 2 of those 13 were females, and one of which I worked with constantly, almost the entire time. So, I had no choice, but I have a great experience with both of them. And I mean, look, man, I've watched them throw down some serious shit. You're gonna hear some badass stories from both these girls of some crazy shit that we got into. Like literally two of the craziest calls of my life, 2 of the craziest moments of my life occurred with both these women. And so
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I would just say that for me,
shit.
I am turned off from a police perspective when I see chicks. when I
You're
see
turned off when you see chicks.
Yes. I thought you weren't going to judge me when I said
No,
this.
we don't kink shame. We don't kink shame.
You're laughing at me about my sexuality, and it's very uncomfortable for me. You're going to get your sexual harassment lawsuit, buddy.
I'm a la 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 la.
No, I don't like, especially as someone who has put a lot of work into the humanizing the badge angle. I do not like when chicks just basically leverage their bodies for attention on social media and call that humanizing the badge.
That's humanizing the vag.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't like it. I just don't think I don't think that bodes well for women in policing. And when you call in, if you're a chick cop, and I'm curious your thoughts on that. Obviously, we're just a couple of dudes talking about chicks. That's a good podcast name. Couple of dudes talking about chicks. Boob Job Channel 9.
Humanizing this week on Two Dudes Talk About Chicks. Humanizing the vag.
I don't like that. I don't think it's very professional. I don't think it's very wise, and I don't think it furthers women in the profession. Sex
sells, man. If you're trying to build rapport with a community,
yeah, I guess
sex sells, man. Community police it up.
And the
Let's
other
turn them all
thing,
into Hooters chicks. Nobody
Hooters
complains about
PD.
Hooters. Yeah, Hooters PD. I dropped my handcuff key.
you just pay to fulfill your buddy's fantasies. It's like, you can pay to have someone kidnapped or something like that for a thrill, or something like crazy. Just like pay to get pulled over by Hooters PD. It's like this hot pink cop car with weird colored lights.
Just says badge bunny, and it's got like a Playboy bunny with like handcuffs on the ears.
Yeah, that's
instead
the
of a bow
badge
tie or
symbol.
something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The other thing, so I would say on a serious note though, the over sexualization of women in uniform, I think is a detriment to the profession. And I think if you want to be taken seriously in a profession that's dominated by a masculine presence, if you want to be taken seriously, then but yet you play right into the idea that it's about your body and not about your skill set and what you bring to the table. I think you're shooting yourself in the proverbial foot with that. I just think it's bad for the profession.
I think it's the same people that use their race to climb the ranks of a police department, people that use their gender, their sexuality, anything that you're using to politically move yourself up the ladder instead of just trying to be a good cop. Look, I feel the same way about cops being on YouTube, on TikTok. Not from you, because that was different because you were like the first one to do it. But now, like all these cops that are sitting on TikTok for clout.
Well, there's a whole different culture on TikTok than what it's taken on its own animal nature now.
They're all dumb. Hey, I'm gonna set up this phone for just a second, Mike. So if you'll just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, sure. I'll just keep talking to the crowd here. The other thing that I think needs to be changed, I would say that 5 years ago, me would have said that all women who are coming into the profession should have to do the exact same physical agility tests as you would have had to do as a guy. So if a guy has to do 30 plus push-ups in a minute or whatever the standard would be, then the chick should have to do 30 push-ups in a minute. I've bent a little bit on this only because physiologically speaking, the frame and the muscle composition, the body composition is just different between men and women. And so it's like a sliding curve. So in other words, for a 5'4" chick coming into the policing, doing 20 push-ups may be the equivalent of a dude that's 5'9" and 190 doing 35 or 40 push-ups or whatever. I understand that there's a difference physiologically speaking that can make them outputting equal in terms of frame to task. However, where I still struggle with that is if you're a cop that shows up on a scene and you have to move a 200-pound dead weight dude out of a circumstance or a vehicle or whatever's going on, and you gotta drag that person, or you gotta lift that person. If you can't do it, then what? And I know that there's a limit to all that, but that's still sort of like in the back of my mind, if I'm being honest, which I am. The hang up, like, where do you guys think? And we're going to be going to the phone lines here in a little bit, but where do you guys think the beginning and ending points and a happy medium is there? I don't know. That's something I thought about over the years. It's not my issue now because I'm not a cop anymore, so it's kind of an irrelevant point to my day-to-day life. But these are the things that I was thinking about when I was actively on patrol, of course. So there's that. Ben said the firefighter guys do the same thing with the calendars. I agree. I don't think that lends to the professionalism of the fire service when dudes are half naked on a calendar either. So I agree with you, Ben. I don't disagree that it's firefighters doing the same thing. I think anytime you're I see dudes do it on Instagram too, dude cops, like, shirtless and flexing with their gun belt on or something stupid. And it's like, and they hashtag it humanizing the badge. And I'm just like, I don't know that that's what you're doing. Like I said, it's sexualizing the badge. Maybe. I don't know that it's certainly not what I have in my mind when I think about the human connection there. So those are some of my thoughts. I'm going to scan the comments here, but oh, there we go. He's back, everybody. Tansey's back. And if you're only a listener and you're too lame to tune in live, Tansey has a couple of different camera angles on him, and one is pretty flattering, and one isn't.
I'm gonna put a piece of tape over my webcam.
All right,
he messaged in the chat like, "Why am I muted?" or something. And I was like, "Because I was waiting to mute him like that."
Hey, okay? Can we put the phone number up? Sodomizing the badge, Jim Stewart's done.
Sodomizing the badge.
All right, let's put the phone number up. And here's how this is going to work, guys.
Before I put the phone number up, explain that.
Yes, don't just call the number. Text the number and just say, here's my name. Like, say this is so-and-so, and text what your question is going to be, or text what you want to talk about. If you have a story about a chick cop, if you have input on the physicality question that I posed out there, anything that we've set up to this point, if you want to shade that in with commentary or questions, text your name and what you want to talk about to 984-810-8908. The number is on the screen. And
we'll get Red to, you want to start off with Red and hear a couple of stories from Red?
Is she here?
Yeah, she's here. Red said, she just texted, she said, I'm not going to be number one.
Why?
Being a real chick cop.
If Kata's in here, let her text.
She's being a real chick cop.
Two cops, one cuff. That is
Red,
sexualizing
the
the
first
badge.
one to call in. But yeah, so Red will text here in just a second. But yeah, I think we got to hear some Red stories first, and then we can, because I mean, I'm sure people are going to want to comment in and ask questions and the whole 9 yards.
Paul Gay says, want to start a war? Go outside and shout, women have no place in combat or the police force.
Jeez. Yeah, I would do it. Boston Joe's done it on our sports show where he talks about women in sports. Now, how about this, though? Because Lauren, Red, when you call in, I have a question for you right off of the bat. So we'll break the ice with a question. So just go ahead and call in. I know you're watching. You're going to be first. Is she calling in? No, not yet. And then if Kelly oh, shoot, I don't want to say her name. Kelly, if you're watching, go ahead and call in. All right. Anyway.
I see Renee Peterson is in the chat.
Well, we never had this problem with anybody else. But this is a second.
Kata said she texted.
This girl just said, I'm not going to be the first. The other one.
Hormonizing the badge. It's another good account name idea. Hormonizing the badge.
What do you got over there, Katie? Huh? You got Kata? You want to bring Kata on first? Mike?
Yeah.
Bring Kate on. Go ahead, call
Let her be
Kate.
first. Call her up. She said she texted.
Here we go.
Sorry,
We got it turned up for the. Oh yeah.
Sorry for the listeners with any dead space. Hey, you figured it out.
Yay!
You did it. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so you're a chick, supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't have any verification of that, but we'll just go with it.
Anyways, I am.
So what do you have? What's your message as a chick cop to the world? What do you want to say?
Well, the couple things that you touched on that like I wanted to talk about was the differences between women and men when it comes to like how we control a scene with words, because I think it's huge. And for me personally, I don't know if it's because I was a bartender for so many years before I was a cop, but you know, when we deal with like drunk men as women specifically, they always listen to us. With like a man cop, they're going to be like rowdy and not want to participate in whatever they're doing. But with us girl cops, they just do whatever we say, you know? And
Right.
so that works. But, you know, also just how you were saying that we do, or maybe it was in the comments or whatever, something about that women are better at verbal judo or something. I don't remember how the person worded it, but
Yeah.
I think that that's true all day, every day.
I always think it's
24/7
funny, and
all
I
day.
posted the meme earlier, but it's like where like a male cop is like, "Sir, could you please step out of the car?" And the guy's like, "Why?" And it says like 5 foot female, "Just get out of the car because I said so." You know?
Yeah, right. Well, and to that point about our size, like I'm 5'6", 150. I'm not like a small little tiny girl or anything, but I have a lot of guy cops I work with that are smaller than me, and you know, a lot of the comments are saying women cops should be able to hold their own, and it's, you know, we should have all the same physical requirements. But at the end of the day, if we like work out and stay fit and stuff, I mean, I feel like I'm stronger and more equipped than a lot of the guys I work with.
Dude,
to
so,
be honest.
yeah, I mean, my partner Red, I mean, she sits at like 6'1", I think. I don't know, she's fucking tall. Her hands are
Yeah.
bigger than my head, but I mean, dude, she's I'm sure she's gonna tell the story. I'll let her.
She
tell
must
it.
work out.
Yeah, she does. Unfortunately, she always made me look bad. But I've got a question for you, Kata. So, dude, cops, obviously, guys are going to talk shit to us. How do they talk shit differently to you? Do they like?
Yeah,
do
while
ever
you
get
guys
good
are changing your
funny ones?
tampons and sitting on your couch in the
I have
female
zero-
locker room.
There's no filters around me particularly. I feel like my guys, and you know, I worked at the same department that Mike worked at before. I was actually the first girl that came on right after he left, so I was that space filler for the department with no girls.
They replaced me with a chick? What the heck?
Yes, they did. Yeah, and you know, I think when I first started there, all the guys, well, Nate actually, who called in, had told me the story that they had to have like a whole big sit down speech about like, you know, not sexually harassing me when I got there. And all this
It's
stuff.
so true.
Like, for real. It's so true. So they had to have like this big thing about me getting there, and then I get there and like everyone was on pins and needles for like a month, you know, whatever. And I was just being like kind of nice because I was new and I was on FTO. And then, you know, as soon as I started like dropping the F-bomb and talking more dirty than most of them, you know, real quickly it dropped, and it was just like, oh, she's like one of the guys.
How do the criminals?
And I just-
How do the criminals react? Do the criminals talk shit differently to you than they do the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, they flirt with us. So, you know.
What's your favorite
And
pickup
that's
line?
fine.
It's because he's a badge bucky. They're all badge buckies.
They're all badge buckies. Well, you know, it depends on like what they're getting arrested for, obviously. But really, what you made a good point earlier. Like we can use our tone of voice and being pretty to like get these guys to pretty much do whatever we want. I feel like men are kind of just stupid and will literally. do
Hey,
whatever
hey, that's
we want.
offensive. We're making fun of. We got to make fun of
boundaries. I'm not
chicks
gonna
tonight,
say-
not dudes.
I'm not going to say whatever it takes to get the guy into the cop car. I mean, I have boundaries. Like, I will
Well, right.
suck your
I
dick if
will
you get in
say
this
whatever
back
it
seat.
takes. I will say whatever it takes to get in the car.
She's like, I'll
No,
say whatever.
no.
I'll do whatever it takes to get you in the back of my car.
The
honey."
male partner's like, I think that might be a violation of the penal code.
Well, I'll say whatever I have to. With
And then the dude in the back's like, yeah, I'll talk about no penal code. I got a penal you can code.
What's the best one that they've ever? What's the best kind of like cut down a dude you're arresting has thrown at you?
a cut down, like an insult?
Yeah, like talking shit to you.
Nobody. I don't know. I've never really had anybody like talk shit to me.
Really?
Like that. Yeah.
I've had dudes
No.
tell me to suck their dick from the back of my car.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have guys say that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, get in the car, okay.
I would always just I would adjust the mirror and look so I could look at him. I go, listen, man, I'm not judging you because you're gay. I mean, I appreciate the offer. I'm not judging you though. And then it would just make them more mad.
Yeah, no, I think actually men respond better to women. I just think no matter what the scenario is, they're gonna. I don't know if it's like the motherly thing, if it's that they have sisters or what it is, but for the most part, like one thing I'll always do is I'll be like, hey, I'll like get kind of not. I just like drop my tone of voice and like kind of force them to lower theirs, and then they calm down pretty quick. And I'm like, listen, stop, like talk to me, calm down, ignore them, whatever. And then they'll look at me and they like calm down. So like you guys said, I think women bring a certain calming like essence to it, I guess. But it's the opposite effect with women. So,
Now, do you as a female, were you single when you became a cop, or are you single now?
I was together with someone. I got married, and now I'm getting divorced.
Oh, is he a cop? Is he a cop?
Wait a second. A cop getting a divorce? No way.
He's a Marine. Okay, so he's
cops don't get divorced.
No, cops don't ever get divorced.
They get divorced 3 times. That's what they do.
This is my number 2.
We were talking earlier about like girl cops that are married to like non-guy cops.
Yeah, how they're betas.
Yeah, or they can be betas.
Do you think, Kata? Do you are around other chick cops? Do most of their significant others fit the bill of being so alpha that they can kind of like deal with their profession, or are they more beta because of the profession?
I think it's either most of my girl cop friends are either with cops or firemen or total betas, like the
stay-at-home dad dogs.
Stay-at-home dad.
Going to school to get their degree in online lesbian dance studies.
Right, or something along those lines, or maybe they're like a grocery manager, or I don't know.
No, not a grocery manager. A pet store food specialist.
Right, they scoop the fish out at PetSmart.
Yes. You can't put the beta fish together; they'll fight.
Yeah, that's the thing about us girl cops too, is everyone, we have this bad misconception about us that we're just these bitches all the time. I don't know if I'm allowed to say bitches, but like we're not. We're just we're like controlling, right? Because it's kind of part of our nature to be bossy, and so it's really hard to switch that off. I mean, men, it's the same when they get home on this job, but when you're a girl cop and you get home, like still everything, you're still the boss. It's really hard to not.
I just had my wife put a helmet on before I came home from shift because the backhand was coming.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to blow off steam? You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
I'd come home and I'd be like, drop your pants, go into the bedroom, put your hands on the bed.
I want you to Amazon me.
What? See, but that's alpha. That's the difference. It's like, I don't know. It's hard being married to a female cop.
So now, like, you're with a Marine who's just like alpha as fuck, and now you've got a girl cop who's also alpha as fuck. Do you think that's like the problem in that relationship? Is that you're both?
Yeah,
you're like, I want you Amazon position right now, and he's like, bitch, I want you doggy style.
First of all, I want you to know that Tansey does not have a sociology degree.
Obviously, yeah. No, there's a lot of butting heads with 2 alphas, and I wouldn't even say that I'm necessarily an alpha, but I am definitely too alpha for a standard like liberal dude. Like that could never work.
He's a Marine. He's a Marine liberal.
No, he's not.
Oh,
he's super Republican.
Okay.
So if in your experience so far, and you've been at multiple departments, so you've had a variety of experience.
Yep.
Would you say that there truly is a stigma inside departments from like a top-down perspective? Like you're somehow treated differently from the admin side of things? Because I think, like you said, like I think it's true of any new cop. I don't care if it's a dude. I don't care if it's a chick. When you're new, no one's going to say shit to you. No one's going to really feel comfortable around you until you sort of like, there has to be like that warming up period. You got to kind of earn that conversation, earn the respect.
Right.
That happens to everybody, I think. But from an admin perspective, do you feel treated differently? And now that you've had the opportunity to sort of like start as a chick at different places, is there a consistent, predictable pattern there from an admin, or does that vary?
Yes, I would say so. This is obviously just personal experience. I've had two different experiences of that. When I worked in Detroit, I didn't feel that way because I felt like it was just all the same. I did patrol and then I went to special ops and I left there out of special ops, but I felt like they gave you an equal opportunity. You would prove yourself, you'd get into ops and then you'd stay in it or whatever. But when I went to the second department, which obviously we just don't name, I felt like I was the one sent to do everything kid related, everything rape related, which is fine. But it's like, oh, we're doing like, go to the school and read a book. Well, we're sending Kata because she's the girl. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I didn't want to go read to kindergartners, but I will. I mean, because you're telling me to. So, like, you get a lot of that. And
this story is called Badge Bucky, kids.
Yeah. And then with my current department, it's not so much like that because it's a bigger department also outside of.
Now, real quick question here, too. How do you feel about humanizing the vag? What I mean by that is all these women on TikTok that are flaunting their sexuality. What do you feel about that? When you see other women cops trying to, do you hate it?
I hate them. Like, because first of all, they're all filters. So let's not get it twisted. None of those girls look like that. We can all go on the apps and pinch our shit in, but listen, you don't like, no one looks like that with a vest on. We look like SpongeBob SquarePants. These uniforms do nothing for us. Okay. Like,
8 hours later.
You cannot have a cinched waist in a vest. So unless they're like taking their vest out of their vest carrier, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, what are we doing? So then they take all these pictures and they like are so cute and like whatever. And it's like, are you going to work today or are we just going to take pictures? Like, what are we doing?
I was trying to find pictures for this episode to put on our Instagram. And I was like, didn't want to be like too offensive, but like I wanted to find like some girls being like typical girls, but not anything. So I was like typing in like female cops, and there was this like one female chick that ended up, she's on Instagram. I'm not going to give out her screen name and embarrass her, but she's definitely a cop. She blurs out her badge and her name. But one of the pictures, she's wearing like these booty shorts, like the spandex, super tight that go up your beehole things. And it just says like police. It says like, I think it says just like police, like the regular standard, like white police, like right on the butt cheek. I was thinking like, what the fuck?
It's like a Halloween costume. And it's
there's a TikTok trend going on where the chick cops step out of their car and they kind of hone in on their rear end with their gun side and like they're walking, and I'm just like, this all to me is just like, there's no humor in it. It adds no value to the profession. Like, hey, listen, if you want to be out of uniform and be an idiot on the internet, God bless you, like go for it. But I think like when I see people doing that and then like they're hashtagging it about humanizing the badge, I'm like, are you though?
Well, right. And it's like, we have to remember that obviously social media is a way to make money. So I feel like a lot of that too is they're trying to get the likes and the follows and, trying to get their algorithm set so they'll pop up and everything. And like, that's fine if you want to do that. But at the same time, you shouldn't be doing that like at work. Yeah. I don't get how they feel like that's justified. I mean, where do these people work? Are these girls like in podunk cities where they have no police runs?
Honestly, that is exactly what it is. They work where they're not busy.
I can't fathom it. Like I don't even barely get ready to go to work. Like you're lucky if I put on mascara. So I don't know what they're doing. It just blows my mind.
It's called community policing, guys. It's called community policing, and I'm 100% all in. I enjoy doing my homework and my research from home on my computer. That's the cool thing about being a podcast host is, it's all for research, honey. If you're looking at my history, it's all for. That's what I tell my wife. It's just research, babe. She's like, Badge Bunny stuffs Bucky. Well, honey,
I just think that those girls, they give us all a bad rap, and it's like we don't. Some of us actually, can be out here and can fuck shit up and can fight people, and we like know what we're doing.
What's like? Give it real quick before we let you go. Give us a breakdown of like your favorite fight where you just really fucked a dude up. Do you stand over him too? Like, do you stand over him and be like, "Yeah, bitch"?
I don't even know if it's like a favorite fight because it's just so ridiculous. But it was when I worked in Detroit, and it was actually a teenager, but it was this girl who was like 17 and like a giant monster person. I don't know. She was like huge, like 6 foot. I thought she was a grown woman regardless. So it was like a hot August day, like 100 degrees. We're all profusely sweating. Our stupid ghetto car has no air. We get to this house. She's fighting her mom, whatever. We get her up against the front of the car. It's me and 3 guys. We get her up against the car, and they, I had my knee in between her 2 legs, and we're like pushing her forward to try to get her hands back. And this stupid bitch like winds up and donkey blasts me in my knee. My bad for standing behind her. She kicked my knee so hard it like crippled me. Fall to the ground. The guys flip her back over, and I just started wailing on her. And then we had to yank her into the back of the car. We get her in the back of the car, and when I say she was like 200 pounds, I'm probably underestimating it. She's probably like 400 pounds. So it took all of us to pull her in the car, pull her and push her. We get her in.
Had to grease her up a little bit, squeeze her in there.
Oh my God. Well, we were already all sweating profusely greasy. It was so gross. So get her in, this stupid B word, because she's a teenager. We have the windows rolled down. Like they had the bars in Detroit. So we have the windows rolled down. And ridiculously, she got out of her handcuffs because she was so sweaty. She let herself out of the car and runs across the lawn. And we're like, oh, and my partner's like, oh my God, she's out. So we go chasing her through this back ghetto alley filled with shrubs. And finally we had to tackle her down and get her. It was the biggest nightmare of my life. Another partner brings the car around. We have to go back to square one of dragging her big butt into the car. Oh my God. It was like the worst, my most sweatiest, terrible moment of my whole life.
I love how you called her a bitch like 6 times. And then all of a sudden, like now that you're talking about getting her into handcuffs, it's like, that's a police thing to do, right? Like you do all the cussing and then you get them into handcuffs. And then like you change your tone because they're in handcuffs. So you call it the B word. But like you literally did that on a podcast. You're like, this fucking bitch, this fucking bitch. Then I got her into the handcuffs, and then this B word, I tried to get her into the back of my car. Like you totally changed your tone.
I didn't even know I did it.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's so funny.
Well, we thank you so much for our service, for Mike and I's service.
Thank us for our service, our podcast service.
Katie, you got anything else before we drop you and bring somebody else on?
Do I what?
You got anything else? You want to do a shout out?
Well, I was going to share my best prison purse story with
Let's
you guys.
do it. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
please
prison
do it.
purse. First of all, for the audience, a prison purse. Well, we'll let Kata tell it. What is tell the audience?
A prison purse is a girl's private part.
Or a dude's private part.
Yeah, or dudes. But I only search the girls for that. But anyways, it's where they hide things to get into jail.
Oh, what if it's a dude that identifies as a girl?
I think a guy would do that.
So a guy does it? Okay.
Probably.
That's racist.
Well, I mean, I search guys and girls the same, so maybe I would still find it. I don't know.
Okay.
So either way, so I'm doing a search for a neighboring city. This was over on Allen Road, just to give you an idea. So I get over there, I'm doing a search for them, and they're like, this girl's totally like a junkie. We can't find anything in the car, but like there's, syringe caps everywhere. I'm like, all right. So I do my regular search, and, I search the hardcore way where I make them do a squat and I do like a credit card swipe. So
Make them cough?
I tell her, yeah, no, I don't even have to, they don't have to cough. It'll come out.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, squat.
Not if they do their Kegels.
They usually don't if they're junkies. But anyways.
Heroin addicts aren't keeping up on their Kegels? What the heck?
They don't keep up, no. I'm like, all right, squat. So she does her squat, and she like did a half-ass squat. And I'm like, no, go all the way down, like squat. And she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, just do it. So I search her, and I had my leather gloves on, and it got caught. And I'm like, do you have a syringe in your pussy? And she's like, what? I'm like, do you? And she's like, I didn't know you could touch me like that. I'm like, oh my God, stand up, take it out. And
when I think about you, I touch myself.
Yeah, I'm like, she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, take it out right now and put it on the hood of the car. This girl pulled out a fully loaded heroin syringe, uncapped, out of her prison purse. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yummy.
I'm like, you were not just sitting on that in the car like that. But true story, hand to God, it's a true story, and that was found inside of her.
Well, Kata, real quick, just because we're talking about prison purses, one time I had a girl, and it's a long story short, but she was committing suicide in a bathtub, and I kicked in the door. Actually, I just opened the door, but she was cutting her wrist, and she was standing in the bathtub. She was standing up. She was naked, and she was cutting her wrist. And when I got in the door, I noticed that she was cutting her wrist, and I was like, holy shit. And I had my taser in my left hand, and I said, stop. And I was staring at her wrist, which was down by her waist where she was cutting it actively. And so I pulled the trigger on the taser to get her to stop. But because, like where you're looking is where
What do you mean you pulled the
fucking taser.
shot the oh, okay. I didn't know if you meant like you turned the light you turned the dot on or something.
No. I taser to get her to stop cutting herself. And because I was staring down by her privates, both needles went right into her pussy. No. And so she falls over, misses the sink, face explodes on the bathroom floor.
Oh my gosh.
I get over, I end up taking a rag and handcuffing it around the wound to close the wound up. And she's like coming back to, and she's like, why did you kick me on the way down? I was like, oh, I didn't. That was the floor that kicked you in the face. And she goes, did you tase my pussy? And I was like, oh shit, I really did. She's like, man, I've been tased before, but ain't nobody ever tased me into pussy.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I'm so sorry. So I called, obviously EMS gets there and they laugh and they're like trying not to laugh. And they're like, you got to pull that dart out, homie. Like that's your job. Unless it's
you can't pull that out. They have to do that.
No, they made me do it. So I had, and it came out with like a whole bunch of pubic hair too.
No, you can't do that. No.
I did it. So,
That is so
right
disturbing.
in her hoo-ha, like, yeah. So,
I'm really glad we know that now.
Imagine getting tasted. But you know what? That's kind of always been a fantasy, man. I think like the ultimate orgasm would be at the end. Like, listen to me. Hear me out here. If you, Kata, maybe you agree with me. Maybe you disagree. I don't know. But imagine getting right to a climax.
She said disagree. She doesn't even hear what you say yet. I agree with that disagreement.
You get right to climax.
I want no part of whatever you're about to say.
And then somebody tases you. And then as soon as the tasing's over, then you climax. I think it would be like the greatest thing. Because you know that feeling of once you're done being tased is just like, you're like
counseling. You need therapy.
I feel like we need to, Mike, you need to bring Tansey up to the Dirty Show and let him go to the S&M booth because obviously.
Yeah, there's
and we don't kink shame, Kata. We don't kink shame on this show.
He's got some issues from his childhood, clearly. So
well, bring him to the Dirty Show and maybe we can arrange a tasing for him.
Yeah, maybe.
That makes me sound like a real beta.
It kind of does. We'll smack you on the ass while we tase you on the front.
Whatever, dude. I've got no shame in this world. Look at me. I'm a distiller. I'm an owner of a distillery. I've got no shame left in this world. I'm a small business owner. I have no shame.
Oh my god,
Kato, we appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, you guys. I love your show.
All right. Well,
thanks.
You want to put Red on? She said she texted there, Kadeen. Overpaid producer Kadeen.
Pink lightning Tansey, Greg said.
Hey, Elijah, if you only
go pink lightning, go pink lightning.
I can't. What are you saying?
Elijah, if you only knew how much Kadeen was getting paid tonight. She's so overpaid right now. Did Red text you? Red, text again right now. She should just be texting the word red.
John said, bro, seriously, your department should have people for that. Okay, so that is something that actually varies by state. That's no joke. And jurisdiction. So some places will require by policy that paramedics or medical staff have to remove the prongs from a taser, and some require that the officer that did the tasing actually does it.
Yeah, our policy was the officer has to do it unless it presents a medical emergency. And EMS said, no, dude, she's got fucking darts like around the lips of her vagina, but it wasn't like inside the vagina. It wasn't going to like damage her clitoris or anything. It was just, in the region of her vagina. So they were like, yeah, you're fucking pulling that out yourself, homeboy.
Jay Nepper, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate
the vagina count for this podcast is probably the highest of any.
Go back to that one guy's comment, Joe. He was a little bit ago. He was like our obsession with talking about the vagina on this show. I don't know how far it was up. You posted it. You had put it up there, but I don't remember how far away it would have been. The comment would have been to post on there. But yeah, it turns out that our story about the guy sticking his head in the vagina of his wife and dying might have been Snopes says it's fake. I don't know. Oh yeah, there it is. Joe Tom. This podcast loves the vagina between the Nutty Putty Caves, birth canal, suffocation by oral, and prison purses. Yeah, and it has seemed to be a trend here.
That's her calling. Go ahead and answer it.
All right, we got another trick cop on the line, baby.
Welcome to Failure to Stop.
Tansey has a mangina. Tansey has a mangina.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Tansey. Hey.
Man, I've known that voice anyway.
Red.
Yes, I'm here, finally.
You're in my state, I think, right?
Yes, I am. I
Nice.
actually hit up your DMs, and I'm kind of mad.
Did I answer?
No.
I don't
I'm
ever.
not mad.
I don't check those. Have Tansey give you my number because the chances of me seeing a DM are slim these days. I barely check.
I was asking you about the ex-Detroit police chief running for governor, if you were under him.
I was not, because I never worked in Detroit proper, so I never. And he wouldn't have been around in my time anyway. He came a little bit after me, but he was a great police chief from my understanding and my exposure to him. But whether or not that'll translate to governorship, I don't know. But policy wise, he's going to be a lot better than what we're dealing with right now.
So Tansey, most of his stories are accurate. However, there are details inputted in some of them that I don't remember. So,
Lauren and I worked together for a long time. We both came on. I was a little bit ahead of her, so I wasn't as a rookie as her, but we were both pretty much rookies at the same time. I was only maybe a year ahead of you, 6 months, something like that. But she was your typical female cop, just fucking.
Seriously? You're
No,
going to
I'm
label
just
me as typical?
No, absolutely not. She was the look. I'll talk her up. So it was really funny when she got to the squad. I don't think anybody gave a shit that we were getting another girl because we already had one on the squad, and she was dope as shit too. And so when Red got there, Red was coming off of, she was like the captain of her basketball team in college. She had like a bunch of records and shit. And when she got in, I just remember going, "Holy shit, that girl's big as fuck."
Big?
Yeah, she's like fucking like. How tall are you, Red?
I'm like 5'10", but
Shut
roster height. You can give me 6'1". I'll take it.
Dude, there's no way you're 5'10". I'm 5'10".
No, you're not. You're 5'6".
5'10".
Dude, look at the picture I posted on Instagram.
He's more like
He's way
4'9".
taller.
You're not
like
5'10".
4'11".
Her hand was like bigger than my head.
That is true.
She
You
could
do
grip a
have
basketball
strong
with one hand.
Yeah, I think she could, for sure.
hands. Too easy.
Yeah, so we had some really fun times together, though. Red's, I think we kind of both had the same mentality. Would you say? I think maybe like we were both.
I think we both had the same mentality. I think we just like getting into stuff. Like we weren't people who sat around. We wanted to do stuff. The only problem was that if I knew you were coming, I knew shit was about to go down. It wasn't about to be this easy little arrest, like come get in your handcuffs. Let's go to jail.
Yeah, or who was the shit magnet, him or you? Was it maybe really you?
No, I would have things cool as a cucumber. And here comes Tansey fucking shit up.
Oh, really?
Tansey, remember when we were at a mental place? We had a crowd of guys around this one guy trying to smooth talk him, like, let's just do things the easy way. We can handle this, knock this out. And all of a sudden, Tansey's over standing in the corner.
Pulling a Leroy Jenkins.
With his head down, not even involved in the situation, just chilling back there. And the guy points through all of these men and women standing in front of him and says, "Fuck you, motherfucker." And it was just, do you remember that?
I do. I was looking down. I wasn't even paying attention. Like I got there and was like, oh, there's like every fucking cop in the whole city right here for some reason. Because you had all the hospital cops there, plus all of our cops there. So I didn't even really need to be there. So I was just standing there and the guy just like points through and I look up and he's like, that motherfucker right there, before tonight's over, I'm going to slit his throat. And everybody was like, whoa. And,
people just instantly hated him when we got on calls, I feel like.
How could they hate that face?
He's the instigator.
One of my like most embarrassing moments ever was Red and I pulled this guy over at the Cookout, which is a restaurant or a fast food joint. It's not a very good one, but some people swear by it. And anyway, I had the guy up against the car or whatever, and she was like, I'm going to go run him for warrants and stuff. So she goes back to her car, and the dude like starts trying to put crack in his mouth to swallow it. So I'm holding onto his wrist, like trying to get him not to swallow this crack. And there's a whole line of people waiting in the drive-thru. It's like midnight. So all the drunks are trying to get their food. And so I'm fighting with this dude over trying to stop him from putting Coke in his mouth. And Red gets out of her car and she goes, all I hear is, "I got you, boo." And she comes and tackles both of us, knocks me completely out of the way. She puts the guy in handcuffs. And then everybody in the line was like laughing and be like, "Oh man, you can't handle your own shit. You got to have your girl. You got to have your girl handle your shit." And she was like, I was like, "Really? Did you have to get out and just yell like, 'I got you, boo'? Like you couldn't just fucking, I couldn't just fucking come over.
Couldn't just keep your mouth shut and tackle somebody.
Tansey was my work wife.
Yeah.
Every cop has a work wife. Usually it's, usually the joke is because it's same gender, right? Like your work wife is another dude because most, like we said at the beginning of the show, 80% of cops are dudes. So, but yeah, that's funny. What would you say, Red, is a stereotype about chick cops that, I mean, stereotypes are funny because they're true in some level. What stereotype rings the most true and what rings the least true, do you think, in your experience?
Mm.
Are you eating good food right now? I mean, what are you eating?
You were not a sex phone operator.
You took a bite of, did you just take a bite of some cheesecake?
That's not thinking. No. Oh yeah, I do have that. Oh, no. Maybe I don't even want to get into that stuff.
Really?
Okay.
Stereotypes?
That the female cops date the male cop is a stereotype, good and bad. True and untrue, I mean.
Did you ever date any cops?
Regretfully so did date one.
So many.
It was a very poor choice on my behalf.
But you're not dating a cop now. What's it like? I mean, but I guess you're not a cop anymore anyway, but were you a cop when you were with your now spouse?
Yes, I was.
What was that dynamic like? I mean, did you have like stories for days or?
Yeah, it was always funny when we went to like get-togethers because they'd ask what I did and what he did, and he was a ER nurse and I was the cop, so it's kind of like roles reversed a little bit. So that was
he was a Fokker.
Yeah.
Do you guys reverse roles in the bedroom as well, or is that a stereotype? That's not true.
That's not true.
No.
No.
Have you ever tried Amazon position?
No, I just learned about it on this show.
Look,
a lot of educational resources here.
You got to try it.
No, you don't. That's not the thing.
Red and I, we were also workout partners. So like our squad was really into exercise and working out, and Red was really into CrossFit.
What is the difference between those two things, by the way, exercise and working out?
I don't know. I think like exercising is like, you're on the ellipticals, doing some jogging.
With a sweatband on.
And then, you got a sweatband on, and then a workout is like what Red does, where it's like
you were listening to White Snake with your treadmill workout.
Oh man, she would you would like come into the workout room, and she would be like in these fucking like the like booty shorts things that like went like so far up her ass, and then she had like a fucking sports bra on.
You were in the booty shorts. You had your little Ranger panties on, and I was in
Silkies.
And
he wore those things. I don't know how many times I've seen his ball sack.
Wait, I think what we're figuring out here is that Tansey is actually as close as you can be to a chick cop with maybe male genitalia, not confirmed.
We actually have this photo that was sent in that proves what was just said. So I'll display it.
This just in.
Motherfuckers.
What is it? I can't see it.
It's that picture of you with your like big jacked, the one that you made me take after doing the Murph workout afterwards. Celebrating the Murph.
Standing with her
shirts off in the back parking lot. Because she was all into like CrossFit. And so like, if you don't take a picture, it didn't happen. And I hated that shit.
CrossFit.
So, obviously, I'm not in as great a shape. But hey, look, in that picture, my tits are bigger than yours, though. So that's kind of funny.
That's something to brag about.
And your dick's probably bigger than mine. So.
But when you guys were talking about is it easier for a female or whatever to come on to a male dominant police force, I think it's very, very difficult because you already come in, they're already underestimating you. And on our squad, it was like the cream of the crop. So you had big roles, big shoes you had to fill in order to kind of fit in with these guys. Mm-hmm. So like if you, for example, if you got in a foot pursuit or something, you couldn't, like I guess the stereotype, a female would be screaming or a guy would be screaming on the radio or something. You got to be calm, like foot pursuit, 424 foot, like, because if you didn't, you're going to get made fun of when you got back, or they're going to say you're a piece of shit or whatever it is. So you just have way bigger shoes to fill coming in as a female police officer.
Yeah, you either sink or swim. You rise to the occasion, right? I mean,
that squad was so competitive and so hard to be on, especially as rookies. And I mean, it really was until you become a senior officer. Like your life is pretty miserable in that squad. But I can remember like Red and I like being in foot pursuits, and she'd be like, "Get on the fucking radio," and I'd be like, "No, you get on the radio." Like as we're running, she's like, "No, you get on the radio." I was like, "No, I don't want to get on the radio. Like let's not get on the radio until we know we're gonna catch the guy anyway."
Yeah.
You know,
there
it's
were
like
many times we probably did things where we did not get on the radio just so the whole squad didn't know what we were doing.
Please, Boo. Come on, Boo. Get on the radio, Boo.
Yeah, so it's like if we were losing a foot chase, like you didn't even get on the fucking radio and call it out because you didn't want to have to deal with getting back to the station having lost. Like they had this this shoe that some suspect lost during a foot pursuit. And so they took the shoe and they spray painted it in gold and mounted it to a plaque. And if you lost a foot pursuit, then your name and date went onto this plaque underneath the shoe, and it was hanging in the office for everybody to see. And so you didn't want to ever lose, but like, you know, I always say you can't lose a foot chase if nobody knows you were in one to begin with. So,
so true.
So it would be like completely unsafe.
Which is so safe.
So safe. But and the cool thing was like with Red and I is because also you couldn't ask for check-ins unless you really needed one. So like if you went to a scene where you're like, man, this guy, it would probably be a lot safer if I had another dude here, but I don't want to get on the radio. Cool. Because if you call for backup and then like backup teams that you didn't really need them there, they're going to talk mad shit and be like, man, this pussy fucking called me in over here to deal with this bullshit fucking pussies, you know, or whatever. So like Red and I would like call each other on the phone and be like, hey, who are you around right now? I'm not around anybody. What do you want? Am I on speakerphone? No.
Yeah.
Hey, can you come check in with me? I got a dead body back here, I think. And everybody would like start laughing. And then she'd be like, oh, you said you weren't on speakerphone, you asshole. But actually, funny story is that there was a dead body back there.
There's always a dead body back there.
Hey, what was the story with that one, Red?
I don't remember it.
The one that was out on Facebook. You were like, hey, I think somebody put on Facebook, there's a dead body behind Weebobs.
Yeah, I don't remember it like you do.
Freaking hillbillies, Weebobs. Jeez.
But Red and I were the ones that we got in the big chase where she got a bunch of staples put in the head when the guy tried to purposely run her over with his truck and ran up over the hood of her car. And I full on thought she was dead. Like I thought there was no way she survived that. And she got out all bloodied, and she actually put the guy in handcuffs for us, which was embarrassing too, because I had a broken leg. She was like, hey, your leg's broken. I was like, oh, thanks, bitch. Like, fucking, of course it's fucking broken. Your neck's bleeding. So, and then we went to the hospital, and I don't really remember much about the hospital, but she was like coming in to check on me. And she's like, what were you? You had like a tank top that said like, I'm with my
boyfriend.
A
stupid freaking shirt on that said, I love my boyfriend. This was the regretful relationship too. So all of it.
Hey, what do you think? I brought up earlier about the physical side of the job, like the agility requirements. And do you think women should have to do the exact same things as men to get in, or do you think it should be scaled down? Why not? What are your thoughts on the physicality of the female side coming in?
I guess I can understand both sides. And I feel like if you set the bar high, people are going to work. Well, some people who want to be there are going to work harder. So if you give me a goal, if you give me the standard that the men have to get to, I'm going to work my ass off to get to that point, or try to get to that point, so that I can meet the standard. But if you give me this low goal and it's too easy for me, then what am I really benefiting from?
Yeah.
And I mean, she worked out.
I understand that some women can't get to that point, and I might not even be able to get to that point now, but I can see both sides.
But Red worked out harder than any of the guys on the squad, and the workouts were not like, I mean, our squad workouts were hard too. It's like, if you weren't pushing yourself, if you weren't sweating, you got made fun of. They would hide your sneakers in the ceilings and shit. And I mean, it was very brutal. It was a very hostile work environment. If you think about it, it really was. But I mean, it made you a better cop. It made you a better person. And but I mean, Red was always like in the mix, and I just really didn't give a fuck so much. But Red definitely in the gym tried to outwork everybody, do more pull-ups, more push-ups, and do all the things. And I mean, she was great in foot pursuits. She was great at getting into shit, and she could hold her own. I mean, at one point, some guy tried to take off running on her, and she kicked him in the back of the head and knocked his 2 front teeth out on the parking curb.
On the curb. She curb stomped a fool.
Yeah. Yeah. So she had a reputation. She had a reputation. But Red, I mean, when you came on, I mean, did you think it was hostile, or do you think other girls should have to go through what you went through? Because I think, to be fair, like I went through the same thing. Like I think it was just as hostile for me, and I'm definitely not a girl.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Too. Maybe because I'm in stereotype. Maybe because I'm a female, that I was just more aware and more sensitive to it. That I knew I had bigger shoes to fill, and I knew that basically I wasn't going to be treated the same. So I was probably just more sensitive to it. But
what do you think about like the bantership, especially like, because on the squad, I mean, I think a lot of the guys on the squad were, I mean, constantly, right? Like we've talked about this, where they would like pull me aside and be like, yo, dude, you can't talk to her like that. You can't joke with that. She's going to do sexual harassment or stuff on you. And I was like, well, dude, I would talk to you the same way. And I thought we were supposed to treat everybody the same. So if I don't treat her like that, then I'm treating her different. I mean, did you ever feel at any time? Because I mean, dude, we got pretty personal. I mean, I just as personal as I get with anybody else. Did you ever feel like that was harassment or threatening or anything?
No, not at all. I can remember times when we leave roll call and you'll be like, I hope you get shot in the face today or something, something absolutely ridiculous like that. But you have to understand Tansey and know Tansey to know where it's coming from. Like an average person just can't walk into roll call and understand Tansey. They're going to be highly offended. So I think you just got to understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
You never said that to your friends, Mike? You never said like, hey man, good luck. Or like people be like, hey, be safe tonight. And be like, hey man, I hope you, nothing personal, but I hope you get shot in the face on your next traffic stop. You ever said
I think we had that kind of humor going on where you would say stupid shit like that to each other for sure.
And I don't think people who aren't law enforcement or who aren't in some sort of job that has trauma understand that kind of humor that we have amongst ourselves. Like it's weird shit. Like if we have a body cam on all the time, there's weird shit that we are laughing about.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Like I would always play this game that people that worked with me would tell you that I played pretty much every time we were on a dead body. And that would be like how much money to fill in the blank. And I would just make shit up about doing it to a dead body. And be like, how much would it take to lick Skittles off that dude's back right now? Or something stupid like that. And like this the conversation with it. You got to kill time till the ME shows up, man. So what are you going to do? You got to have fun with it at least. I don't know.
Now, Red, you played basketball and you also were able to talk ghetto, as I like to call it. And I used to love it when you would turn on ghetto Red. Tell us about like what it's like being treated, like how you would interact with inner city gang members and thugs, and how that kind of like as a female, how that kind of played out.
I think it's way easier to interact with the community as a female in the hood because you can like manipulate kind of your way into things, like how they talk to you and how you respond back to them. And I mean, there's some that you don't take any shit from because that's just the way it is. But there's some that you can manipulate your way into things and learn things and get information and intel. And I think that's valuable at some point. So
how often did you use your basketball skills to really just fucking humble some dudes up?
All the time.
I mean, we used to remember you and I used to be, her and I used to go to the parks and we would get out and we'd be like, yo, you guys want to play ball? And they would laugh. And like, we didn't do this on video cameras. So we didn't do this for clout or for fucking TikTok. Like these are like inner city hood basketball goals that are like tucked back away. So we're not doing this to like we were out there to fucking
We don't call
win.
them goals up here, by
Dude,
the way.
we would take off our gun belts, Mike.
Hoops.
We would take off our fucking gun belts and leave them underneath the rim and play basketball with these dudes. And she was aggressive and they would be like, damn. And it was, I mean, I just passed the ball to her.
Of course you
and
did.
Let her do all of her dumb shit.
Again, you're 5'6", unless you've got a Spud Webb game going on. It's not going to go well for you.
5'6" on a good day.
Yeah. Fuck you, Lauren. I wish you weren't still here to talk to us. Sometimes I wish.
Bringing back memories.
You would have.
If you could pass a message on to any chick thinking about going into law enforcement, what's your words of wisdom and advice to all the young ladies that are thinking about going into policing?
In 2021, run.
Yeah. Run.
Don't freaking do it.
Really?
That's my advice to pretty much everybody. So, yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, sure, fun. Go do it. Awesome. now, I cannot imagine doing what they do, what they have to deal with now.
Just because of the overall climate, or specific to being female?
No, the overall climate.
Yeah.
Just men and women, very much respect to those who are still on the line and doing what they got to do to hold the line, because it's a tough world right now.
Listen, before we let you go, I've got one more story that I just thought of that I think our listeners would really appreciate. Mike, I think you would too. But Lauren, Red was no longer a cop, and we had a case. Maybe it was a murder case. I can't remember what the case was, but it was some high profile case, and the state flew her back to North Carolina to be at this thing. And you just had a kid, I think. You said your first kid, maybe?
Well, they've called me back for both kids. So I think if you're talking about this recent one, yeah, I was about to pop.
No, I think you'd already had a kid because you weren't fat. You weren't pregnant.
Are you talking about Eric, or are you talking about the one where he killed and raped and did a whole bunch of stuff?
I think it was the Eric one. But anyway,
okay,
so
Eric, yeah.
She's sitting in the courtroom, and we have to take a recess because her boobs hurt. And so she's like,
she got a milk?
She's like, I've got to go. Like my boobs are hurting. And I was like laughing, and she's like, shut the fuck up. And like the courts are like staring at us, and we're like in the.
Did her male nurse husband have to
no, he wasn't
milk
here.
her?
He wasn't here. And she was like, oh my God, my fucking tits hurt. And I was like, there's not even any tits there. And she's like, shut the fuck up, Eric. So anyway, they give us a recess for her to go breastfeed, and she doesn't have a car or anything. So there was like a captain who's now the deputy chief of the whole department, but he was there for this trial. And I look over at the guy, and I was like, hey, so she's here. We have to take recess, and it's a lunch recess. So you got to buy us lunch, correct? Is that how it works? And the guy was like looking at us like, I was like, come on, dude, you wouldn't fly her all the way back to North Carolina and not even fucking buy her lunch, right, sir? That wouldn't happen, right, sir? And he's like looking at me, looking at her, and he's like, no, yeah, we can take her to lunch. And I was like, great. I would love to go to, and I was like, Fat Daddy's Burgers or something stupid. And Lauren's like, you fucking retard. So anyway, we go back to the car, and I'm going to drive her. And she's like, does your car have a plug in it to like plug in stuff? And I was like, yeah, it's a Jeep. It's got a little plug-in port. So she's got her breast pump on, and she's sitting in the back seat. And I got to back out of this parking garage. So I go to turn around and back up. She's like, stop looking in your back seat. I'm breastfeeding. I was like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to back up my car? She was like, you just turn your head and use the mirror. And I was like, well, if I'm looking at this, if I look in the rear view mirror, I'm still seeing the same thing as if I like turn around in my seat. And she was like, do not turn around and look at me. And I was like, well, this sucks. So like I'm pulling out. So she's talking. She's like, I can't believe you're trying to look at my tits. I was like, one, we've already established that if I was going to look at anybody's tits, yours would be like the last tits that I would ever fucking look at. Like there's more tits on a 2x4 than on you. So we're backing out. She's still talking shit. And I was like, all right, we'll keep talking shit. So she keeps running her mouth. Well, we pull up. We're in dead stop downtown Raleigh traffic. And the captain is behind us in his patrol car. And I'm in my Jeep, my black Jeep. So I stop at the red light. And I put my hand out the door to wave him around to come up beside us. So he comes up beside us, and then I inch forward just to where her back window is right next to his. And I just rolled the window down, and she's got these two. She's kicking my seat. She's like, stop. And it's a. he's like, what's going on? Oh my God. The back seat of the car.
What a savage. But I think if we were being fair about gender issues to take a courtroom break, I feel like if a male cop's sitting down for a while on them benches and their balls get sweaty, they should be able to take a break for that, as much as a breastfeeding situation. Be like, Your Honor, my balls are sweaty.
My Hofnar is sore. Like when you sit down too long, you get a sore Hofnar.
I have never heard this. What's the punchline here?
A Hofnar?
Yeah.
A hard on for no apparent reason.
Oh my gosh! See, this is why I didn't want to ask. No, I never heard that.
Sitting in court and you get like a random Hofnar, a random boner for no reason.
No, I don't get like random boners in court, dude. What are you talking about? You got problems.
Lauren, do you remember the two guys that were fucking in court? Like the one dude that you arrested, and then they caught him fucking another dude in the bathroom?
No.
No, never mind that.
I think you might jump that up.
I think that might be something that's just going on in your head after this
Red,
episode.
We had to deal with for 12 hours on end.
I would have shot myself.
Yeah. Don't act
I would have shot myself right in my Hefnar.
Don't act like you didn't have fun.
I can remember one time pulling up to a stoplight in the middle by myself, riding in my own car, pulling up to a stoplight while I'm eating a banana. And here comes fucking Tansey calling me on the phone, talking to me about how I'm eating a banana.
She's like, where the fuck are you
out
at?
of nowhere. Like, where are you and what are you doing?
Listen, if you're not in your own house, you break off banana and you eat it one bite at a time. You don't
Not Big
anywhere
Red.
that's not in your own home around no one. Then you just break it off and eat it piece at a time. That's the
Red,
only way
like-
to eat a banana safely.
Red was like sitting in her car that night, just deep throating this banana. Like, I don't think she was eating. I think she was fantasizing.
No, why
about
is she
something.
not eating that banana?
I was like, what is she doing over there? That is illicit. Like, you're a professional police officer. Stop blowing that fucking banana.
Hiram Bithadum has a fantastic comment that really rounds out this episode for us. Watching this is like a cross between being on continuous observation precautions in an admissions area and the Twilight Zone episode when Russell Johnson goes back in time to the American Civil War. I don't even know anything what you just said, but it seems to really
Fit in
sum
with
this
this
up,
show.
doesn't it?
Did you have a thing on your squad, Mike, where like on our squad, it's like if somebody was eating a banana, if somebody was eating a banana or sleeping, you always got a picture of them. So like I've got a whole phone full of pictures of dudes eating bananas on our squad, and I've got a whole picture full of people.
Well,
sleeping.
we would definitely take opportune photos and spread them around, and
I'll post one tomorrow.
Little
of,
group texts. I didn't save the photos like you did for some strange Huffnar reasons or whatever you call it. I don't.
I've got one of this guy named Goff. He's now a sergeant, but Red and I worked
He
with him,
is?
and he's very serious, a very serious guy, and I've got a picture of him eating banana, and he would hate our show more than anything in the world. I mean, because he's going to be chief one day, so he's very political and plays the game really well in the department. He's a great guy. He's really funny. I enjoy his company, I really do. But he's definitely the type that would absolutely hate this show. But I think I'm going to post a picture on our favorite stop of him eating.
I don't
banana.
think he didn't like checking in with us.
No, that's because we were like he was afraid of IA, and Red and I were like we had like our own packets in internal affairs. So it's like we'd walk out of internal affairs and I'd be like, "Yo, Red, fist me." She'd be like, "That's inappropriate." And I'm just gonna keep walking. But hey, Red,
Thank you for
appreciate you calling
Appreciate
in.
it.
Mike, I've got one more caller if that's okay with you. She's dying to get on.
Yeah, we can do one more. Make it a quickie.
Kelly,
you know what I mean.
Kelly, if you're on, if you're listening still, go ahead and call right now, Kelly. Let's see here.
You have to give Red my number so that she doesn't have to try to track me down in DMs anymore.
Yeah, you don't want Red to have your number. Trust me. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna get incriminating photos of you. I hope.
Yeah, I was. Some people back when I used to work with Red, they would like talk to my wife and they'd be like, "Man, like, how do you feel that Eric's with this girl for so much part of my life?" And my wife's like, "Have you met Red?"
Hey,
like,
listen.
have you met her? There's nothing to worry about.
Couple of housekeeping items while we get Kelly on the line here is one, if you are watching this on YouTube, please hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that get notified when we go live in the future. Our shows are live every Tuesday for Night Shift at 8 p.m. and every Friday for our regular Failure to Stop programming at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you hit the like button because that tells YouTube that people are here watching this, liking it, engaging on it, and it will deliver it to more people. It'll expose the show. Please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and type a review if you would on Apple Podcasts. That's like the king of the hill as far as exposure for the show, but follow it and engage wherever you can and listen to podcasts. We appreciate it. And let's put that shirt up one more time that we dropped tonight. We already had sold some, so I want to keep the train moving.
Yeah, this shirt's gonna go nuts. We do have a flash sale. If you use the promo code WOLFPACK tonight, it's gonna get you 20% off.
20% off?
Yeah, and
literally, I'm not kidding when I say that we make $0 when that happens.
yeah, Mike's gonna be upset, but that's between
literally true. That is
we're
not
only
an
gonna do it till
exaggeration. We make nothing.
We're gonna do it till 10 p.m. So whatever we sell from now till 10 p.m. And we might have some flash sales
Put
all
the shirt
week
up.
leading up to Black Friday. Tonight's show, as we're waiting on this next call, tonight's show is brought to you by Mint Mobile. $15 a month, unlimited data plans. If you're not using a Mint Mobile, if you don't have a Mint Mobile assigned to your squad, you are in the wrong. There it is. 'Tis the season to be lying. Come a la 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 la.
Cackling politicians.
Well, if Kelly's not going to call in, which I thought she would. There's
She's a loser.
Another one on the line. Andrea, you're more than welcome to call. She said she had some questions. Go ahead.
This
phone is open for
Friday,
you.
I'm gonna give this another minute or so, but this Friday we have coming on the show. If you were a fan of 60 Days In, season 6 had recently dropped on Netflix, and on season 6 they had multiple police officers on the show. One of whom is Officer Ashley. Don't know if you're a fan of the show, you'll know who I'm talking about. She is going to be on our show this Friday to talk about her experience being 60 days in Etowah County Jail down in, I think it's in Alabama. It's Alabama or Arkansas. I don't know, Etowah County. It was some southern state where people marry their relatives. Overpaid producer Jimmy says, "Who made that shirt?"
Oh yeah, that was Jimmy. Jimmy made that shirt. He does wonderful work. Of course, that's why he's overpaid. That's why he's an overpaid producer. Elijah.
Tina Burgess says she's seeing 4 dislikes on this video. What the heck? The button's still there
because it's called Chick Cops.
YouTube needs to get out of here. I don't want that dislike button anymore. It makes me feel inferior.
All right, we've got a caller. I hear you whispering in my ear, caller. Who is this? Welcome to Failure to Stop.
Hey, what's up? My name's Chloe.
Hey,
what's up, Chloe?
So I was the one who commented on Instagram. I was like, hey, Chick Cop, and you were like, call in. So I figured
dope.
I wasn't going to wait anymore, but yeah.
All right. How's it going, Chloe? Tell us some stories.
So I am a Chick Cop, obviously, but I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And I won't say the exact town, but
live free or die, baby.
Live free or die. No seatbelt law. Live free and feel free to fly through the windshield.
Really? You got no seatbelt law there?
No seatbelt. No.
That's dope as shit. Do you guys have to clean up a lot of bodies off the streets, or no, not really?
Yeah. It's we try to keep the speed down, but
okay. So do you guys do like a lot of speed limit checks and stuff in New Hampshire?
I mean, it all depends on the town. I'm obviously not a trooper.
Is New Hampshire big enough to speed through? Like, I feel like if you were going fast enough, you would just drive right through the fucking thing.
I mean,
how long does it take to get from one side of New Hampshire to the other?
A good while. Like I went to school up near the Vermont border, and I was probably a half hour from Vermont, and where I am from home is probably an hour from Massachusetts, so it'd be like probably 3 hours.
I went to Delaware once, and it was only 70 miles long. It's like some spots are like 2 miles wide. I'm like, I can get through Delaware. Like, there's people that work in Delaware that like live in Philly. It's like, oh, let's just head to Delaware.
I mean, I live right on the border, so my husband is actually a cop in Maine.
Oh,
so,
okay. All right. So you're married to a cop. So if you're a cop married to a cop, are you still a badge bunny?
Or is he a badge bucky?
Am I a badge bunny if I've already caught him? Is that, you know what I mean?
Oh, because maybe badge bunnies are just like trying to hunt down. I guess it's what the technical definition of a badge bunny is. I reckon you should probably start there.
I mean, so I didn't even know that he was a cop when we actually met on Tinder. So yay, Tinder success story.
Oh wow.
And I did not know that he was.
Did he lie about his profession on Tinder? Like, did you get catfished? He's like, I'm a firefighter.
No,
I'm a software engineer making $250,000 a year. Just kidding. I'm a cop that's at 58,000.
He said that he liked tacos, and I was like, I'm all about tacos.
Shit, that's all it took for you? It's kind of easy.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna buy me tacos, I'm not gonna turn that down.
Picking up chicks in 2019 is just that. Like, Dad wouldn't fly back in my day and be like, "Yo, I'm into tacos." She'd be like,
"What year do you think you live in right now?" It's 2021, Tansey.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I'm married, so I don't have to look for.
Well, why'd you say picking up chicks in 2019?
Or 2021, whatever it is. Picking up chicks with this whole Tinder thing going on. I mean, I feel like back in my day, you had to like really work for it. You had to really woo a girl. You couldn't just jump online and be like, "Yo, I like fucking tacos." And bitches.
I mean, like in his defense, like he was a nice guy, so like he did.
What would your advice be to any girl out there, or somebody that identifies as a girl? Let's be politically correct. What would your advice be as a female cop to any chick that's like, I want to do this job?
You better get some thick skin.
Yeah. What? I guess what makes you say that, the thick skin thing?
I mean, I guess like I'll just go off of my experience in my department, but there's not many females in my department. I've had my fair share of, I know this is scandalous, sexism, bad word, I know. I've had some pretty horrendous things said to me. And like I even had, like I sat down on it was my first oral board ever. And it was the captain, and there was like a detective and then a patrol officer. And I sat down and the captain said, okay, so before we start, there's going to be some pretty tough questions, and there's no getting emotional, and we're not going to cry.
Hey, dude, I'm all in. Like, you've got to know, right?
There's no crying in police work. There's no crying in police work.
I looked at him and I said, well, it's a good thing I'm not on my period.
Oh,
Hey!
and that's why you got hired. That's why you got hired, because that's the kind of fucking attitude you got to have. It's like,
excuse me, sir, I'm not menstruating currently, so we'll be fine.
because you're going to rise to the top, right? Like, as a female, or do you think as a female? Like, yeah, I'm going to get promoted before other dudes. Because I mean, in my experience, if you're a girl on a squad, like, you're not going to not be a sergeant. Like, they're not going to they're not going to make you last. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be in the top 3 for promotion.
I mean, I've been told that, like you will be a sergeant. Like right now, there are several males that are ahead of me, but my department is also very kind of runs along the chain of like the hierarchy and seniority. So like that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did admit that I was hired because I was a female. Like they said there was you and another guy who blew the oral boards out of the water. Like, okay, like, thank you. You did a good job on the oral boards, but they said you and the male did equally as well.
Yeah.
I mean, do the math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, I mean, I know it sucks and it's hard, but like, I mean, and it's good for you, and rightly so. Like, I think you need females on a squad to balance things out, but you need good ones too. Like, you need
you don't need females for females' sake. I don't think. I think you need females that are qualified for sure.
Well, yeah, and there's definitely like there's no room. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, there's no room on a squad for someone who has no command presence, who can't handle themselves, or like you said earlier, someone who has they portray command presence and they run their mouth to people that they shouldn't be running their mouth to, or to people that are bigger than them. They get themselves into the shit, and then when it comes time to, have some manpower and actual command presence, they're screaming for help.
Yeah.
Right.
That's.
Do you find that, like, I mean, I don't know, like, do you guys ride doubles in New Hampshire or not? Where we're at, we pretty much ride singles, but we have beat partners, so that like you're in separate. Sometimes you're in the car together. A lot of times you separate your cars, just because you don't want to be in the same car with somebody. Now, do you find that you call for check-ins as much as the guys do? Do you call for check-ins more, or do you just always have a partner?
So I don't. I guess when you say call for check-ins, like, are you asking dispatch to check you?
No, like a check-in would be like, hey, can I get one more officer with me?
Oh,
yeah, we would just always say like, I'll take another unit over here or whatever.
Yeah, for us it was calling for a check-in. Like, can I get a check-in?
We ride one man unless it's crazy.
Right. Same with us.
Recently, we've had like 4 cars that have failed inspection, so we've kind of been forced to ride 2 man. But I mean, I love being with my, like, I'm the only girl on my shift, but like the guys, like, we're all together, like we're all best friends, like, and I'm with the guys who like, are we gonna fuck shit up tonight? Like, we're gonna get into shit and we have fun.
Yeah, do you feel like a sense of camaraderie, like almost like a not, I don't want to say like a sister, but like, do you feel like you've got, like, I've got my boys with me? Do you know what I mean? We take care of each other. They have never treated me any different. I've had several of them be like, if I'm gonna fight, I would actually rather have you with me than so and so. Right.
Which is, because I mean, I'll get into a fight. I love to fight. It's probably too much. But it's like they're my boys. Like, when we go out, it is kind of difficult sometimes. And my husband's extremely understanding, and but it is kind of difficult sometimes when like a lot of people are like, oh, you going out with the girls? And it's like, no, I'm going out with the boys because those are my friends.
Saturdays are for the boys.
Because I'm
and
a
me,
whore.
and me. I'm gonna go get me some Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Why do you hang out with the boys all the time? Because I'm a fucking whore. No, I'm just kidding. It's because we work together. People are like, what the fuck?
Because I'm part-time Hooters PD, baby.
We're just besties, you know. It's a good time.
I wish I worked in an all-female profession so that I could just be like, yeah, honey, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, how weird would that be to be like at a 20%? You're 12% of its males, and you're in there. Well, I mean, I think
you're a nurse. That's the way it goes. Right?
Back in the day, I think that's a lot higher now. Underpaid Jamie, knock off Jamie. Elijah's the Wish version of Jamie from Joe Rogan. What percentage of nurses are male? I'm curious what that stat is, because
what were you saying, Chloe?
No, I was gonna say, don't you? You mean you had a lot of strip clubs in Raleigh? What was stopping you from just
being a stripper?
Submitting your resume?
Because I like carbs. I like carbohydrates too much. I am. I mean,
they had a height requirement. It had to be 5'7" or taller.
Yeah.
12% of registered nurses are men.
12%.
My wife's dad is a registered nurse, actually.
Yeah.
He's been for like over 25 years.
That's cute.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I just kidding. Real.
So
manly.
I guess that's what it's like. I don't know.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you a tough question, Chloe. So obviously you're with a dude cop, right? And you sound like an alpha, right? Like, I'd like to fight. Fuck them. Like, let's go. I don't think those were your exact words, but I felt it in your tone. I'm sure. Is he the same way? I mean, are you guys like two alphas in the same room, or like how do you have to turn off the alpha? Does one of you have to turn off the? I just imagine the way that my relationship works so well with my wife is that she is like 100% beta. Like, she is like, I'm the leader of the house. Like, she depends on me. She's submissive. All the things. I don't know how a household would work with two fucking alphas or two betas for that matter.
So okay. So when we first started, so he had been a cop for about 6 years when I first started. So he actually didn't know on our first date, he didn't know I wanted to be a cop.
Okay.
I didn't know he was a cop. He didn't know I wanted to be a cop. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting conversation when that finally came out. But like our first date, we went to dinner, and then like the next date I did a ride along with him, and he was like, you know, obviously like putting on the front, and I was just like, ooh, like manly man. And now that I'm a cop, like I'm also like, I'm very type A, and I'm like, you're not gonna fucking tell me what to do, excuse my language. And like we were on the phone one night on shift, and like he was in his car, I was in my car, and I said something on the radio, and he was like, hey, so that actually sounded like a little awkward. Like next time I would say it like this. And I was like, oh, okay, fucking sergeant.
Oh.
And he was like, babe, I'm sorry. Like I was just saying. And I was like, yeah, I understand you were just saying, but like, I don't need your help anymore. It was so mean. Jeez. But we argue over like laws, because his laws are different. So like something that, like if you run from a cop in Maine, like boom, felony. Ooh. You run from in New Hampshire, like if I'm on a traffic stop and you take off from me, I'm like, bye. Like I can't do anything about it.
Right. Live free or die, baby.
Seriously, like state police will run you off the road. Like they'll run until their tires fall off. Right. I basically have to be like, hey, they ran from me, but like we'll argue about like laws, and he'll be like, that's dumb, and I'll be like, well, you're dumb, like me. Yeah. But yeah, we are a little bit alpha. It gets fun sometimes.
Wow, Chloe, we appreciate you following it, and the fact that, does he listen to the show as well?
Not really, but I've just kind of got him turned on to podcasts in general.
He better listen to this one.
Yeah, he
show support for his wife. Come on.
Just kidding. Yeah. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in, Chloe, and thanks for calling in. I think we've got a time limit this week because we have two producers in the studio who are like, it's Thanksgiving. We've got fucking families. We don't want to be in this studio for 2 hours the night before Thanksgiving Eve. So, Chloe, we're going to let you take us out. I don't know. You want to let Chloe take us out, Mike?
Yeah. How do you want to end the show, Chloe?
How do you want to end the show, Chloe?
Oh my God, I'm nervous.
That's how you wanted to do it, right?
You're gonna step up and be an alpha or what?
I'm nervous.
I feel like I need this great line.
I mean, I could think of a few.
Tell people in your command presence voice that they better listen to the show on Friday when we talk about 60
your
days in.
husband commanding your husband to get off of this podcast. Like, pretend that we're your husband and we're keeping you longer on this podcast.
Oh my gosh.
That was very confusing instructions.
You would not be very good as a sex phone
confusing.
operator.
Honestly, that was confusing. I didn't really know what you were asking there. I'm sorry.
Well, you said you yelled at your husband one time on the phone because he called you on a call. Like, pretend that we're your husband and we're bothering you on a podcast.
Oh gosh. Okay, listen, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm ruining this.
You're doing a great job. You're doing good.
Get your ass downstairs so I can get off this damn podcast.
Oh, there it is. Until next time, folks. From Mike,
I don't want to be on here anymore after that. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Failure to Stop podcast. We're headed to #1, baby. The #1 podcast where law enforcement meets culture. We're headed there. Join us. Be in the wolf pack. We love you.